12, 12 OQK, you decide to go for A slot 12, giving you B slot first page. That's fine, your guys' choice. Pretty nice entrance. I like that Nadia dropping onto Yora, that's real good. First 12s look really good. We get until we get about halfway through, we don't see any major issues. This is a real nice B slot. I like that K build there, Otto, from the Q, keeping it open so that you don't block Matthew out on the back. Back pair looks pretty nice on the 12 as well, pretty consistent. And that's also good there, Nadia, too, that K. Just keeping your hips open so that Matthew can get in. All right, up to now, still the 12s are okay. Really nice move to the O as well here. We split the difference very nicely, Yora and Otto, allowing Nadia and Matthew to step to the center. All right, now we're starting to enter the realms of the problems. It's still kind of okay for the 12, but it's the build. So we need to see a very clear line from Nadia to Matthew that the 12 gets built on. If not, we're going to suffer with the start of the move. You see what I mean here? When we get that fan shape, you've heard me talk about it before, it forces this piece to either rotate completely in place or even shift the center point that way. See that? And for me, that comes from the build. Just more attention. So there again, let's look for this long axis and let's make sure that we build it on there. No. And so now we've got two different block moves happening. We've got this piece that's going to want to stay. First of all, if you make your normal move now, relative to the lines of your center, like your piece, you're going to go over here somewhere, which, as you know, is the wrong move relative to the piece. And so having a clear idea of the long axis on the build, which means Matthew, you just rotate and stay there, Otto, you stay there, and Yora and Nadia, you step in between, and we don't build that fan shape. I mean, the 12s are still working, and that comes down to you guys having put so much hard work into it. But as soon as I see a 12 build like that, I'm like, no. I know that if I'm on the outside and I've noticed that I get the fan, what I can do now is I can actually think about going that way a little bit at the start of the block move to help the first target happen. Otherwise, the box picture that we're looking to find here around the center point with the compressed here and the side body here just doesn't happen. Yeah, it's kind of you guys are all the way over here now and you're going backwards. See how much you have to rotate. Like if I put this is where you start, I'm going to leave the cursor there, and then now look, you've actually backed up, and all from the build. And you can fix it. If you have a poor build and you notice it, you can shift your move slightly. Now you just watch on the K build. Be aware of where Matthew is if possible. Kind of have your spidey sense to know where he is. Look at this, same again here. So Nadia, you step into it, and now you make the right move if we have a perfectly built 12. You know, you go to that point, which will be kind of okay if you're in the right spot. But I hope you can understand where I'm getting to. It just feels like a real challenge to get all the rotation done. So the keys here are long axis, keep that hip tight, Nadia, keep that hip tight. And recognize if you're not in a good shape 12, if you've got a fan shape to it, that you're going to have to change your move slightly. Nadia, please watch your hips for Matthew. Yep. So fire through those randoms, press cruise as you get to the block, and when you're in a K, even if it's not such a nice shaped K as this, you've still got a route map. You've got Matthew center point, you've got Otto center point. You just build that thing right in between there, and everyone go to that point. Let go of the grips, forget about the grips, move to the long axis. Like, I know we're in outside center, I kind of know if I've pressed too much. I kind of know if I stepped over the line, I've got a straight K-bill back here with Matthew Nadia. And so now I would go, oops, I'd have to get my hips back out because they weren't out in the first place. I hope that's clear, guys. You can do good 12s. I've seen you do them, especially even at the beginning of this session, but the build will suffer a little bit.